Hi, I'm Kathy Dodson.
And I'm Jocelyn Lindsay. Welcome to another episode of 5 Minute Indie Insights, where today we're continuing our series on websites. This is episode 3 in this mini series that we're doing on websites, and today we're going to be talking about what should be on your website. Because I think this stymies a lot of writers. You've got this space and you don't know what to put on it. And I think it really, I want to start by saying I think the key difference between the key diff or the one of the big determiners of what should be on your website is whether you're published or you're unpublished, and if you're selling. If you're I think those are three pretty big distinctions: published, unpublished, and if your website is your store.
Yeah,
So yeah.
I, I totally agree with that. So you're going to have your URL. This is whether you're selling or not, it's your storefront, or as Jocelyn likes to say, your business card. There are a few basic things that you need to have no matter what.
Yep.
And one of them is your bio.
Yep.
So if you're unpublished but you're querying, it's a great place for your bio, right? If you're self-published, you want your bio up there. So bio is huge. Um, if you're self-published, or if you're not, but you have maybe some short stories or other things that you've written, you can have a reader magnet that's
Hmm.
available on your website that can be used as kind of a goodie to help people sign up for your newsletter. But that is probably, I would say, if you don't have books yet, your bio and a way to sign up if you've got any type of newsletter going are the two critical items to
Yeah.
have on your website.
Yeah.
And you can start building from there.
Yeah. Yeah. Who you are and some way for people to get on your email list, which is usually your reader magnet. Um, is I absolutely agree with that. That base level of what this is who I am. This is what I'm writing or working on.
Definitely.
Have something about what your book is that you're working on, and then some way for readers to stay in touch with you.
Yeah.
Simple. You do not need you do not need the weather where you live. You do not need a blog. You do not need to start doing all kinds of other things. Keep it simple, keep it manageable. If you're unpublished, you do not need a giant complicated thing that you have to deal with.
Right. But if you want a blog, that's something you can add on. So the beauty
Yeah.
of these websites is that you don't have to start out with all the bells and whistles.
Mm-mm.
Start out basic, and then as you go along, add that blog, add something else. You publish a book, great. Put that book up there, have a way for people to buy it. Just keep adding on as it goes.
Yeah, exactly.
Keeps it
Yeah.
much more manageable.
Right. Yeah. And it's as you start needing more things, and if it starts costing you more money, you're not starting out with, I have an expensive thing here that I don't know what to do with, that will do more than I need it to do. But all I need is like my bio and my reader magnet on it. So
Right. And I think one thing we want to mention is let's talk first about what people see, but then there's also some background functionality to
yeah,
websites.
yeah, yeah.
So take it to the next step. Say, Jocelyn, you've got a couple novels out there. What else would you put on your website?
If I have a couple novels out there, I still want my bio. I still want my reader magnet, because now I want people on my email list because I can talk to them directly. I now know who's interested in me, and I can send them emails. And then if I have a book that's out there, I want that book up there, and ideally a link to at least one place they can go buy it. If it's at
Yeah.
Amazon, link that book to Amazon. If it's on Kobo, if wherever you have it, you know, your backyard, wherever your book is available, you want there to be at least one link. Keep it simple for how a reader can go find your book, because that's really what you're driving them towards. When you're not published, you want to drive them to a newsletter or some way to keep in contact with you, that reader magnet, like we talked about. Once you're published, the goal of that website becomes, I want people to read my book.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think then it's the bio, the reader magnet, and then a book. You want people to know you have written a book, it's available, here's how you find it.
Right. Perfect.
Yeah.
That's exactly. And if you want to add a couple more bells and whistles, because whatever platform you use makes it
Yeah.
easy, fine.
Yeah.
But it really is, who am I?
Yep.
And kind of why am I here? How do we connect? This is hugely important. Building your own email list is hugely important. Do not expect social media to be your way to get permanent customers, because they own that list. You want a list you own, and that you can build from your website, right? And then I have books. Here's my books. Here's how to buy them. That's great.
Buy my books. Yeah. I think if you want to once your books have been out for a while, you might want to put up a couple reviews. You might want to, there's the things you can start, again, like we just said a minute ago, you can keep adding on, but in the beginning, keep it as simple as possible. And a lot of why we keep saying keep it simple is because the website is not your life. The website is not where you want to be spending all your time managing. You want to be writing books. Keep the website manageable and something you can think about, something you can handle, something you can do updates to. This goes back to the episode we just had a few minutes, or not a few minutes ago anymore, but the previous episode where we talk about you want to be able to do your own updates. If you're adding books, you want to be able to add those books. You want to be able to add those links. You don't want to wait for somebody to come add reviews.
And pay them to do it.
And pay them to do that. So I think it's keeping it simple. And then when you're ready to start like a store, when you start doing like direct sales, then it's the same thing. The bio, the reader magnet, the book, and now it's buy from me.
Right. That's a big difference with a store. Is I have a book page on my website for my books, for my novels, and people can click and go and buy them, but I'm not handling the transaction. Amazon is, or Barnes & Noble is, or bookshop.org is, so somebody else is. When you have a store on your site, all the sales go directly to you.
Yep.
Right. Yep. Nobody's taking a cut of that. Now somebody still has to print them, and you have to find a partner to manage all that. Or the old-fashioned way was to order a bunch of books and manage it yourself. Not recommend that. Now there are great add-on services.
Yes.
That I know that Wix works with BookVault, and so there's a bunch of different ways. Lulu. There's a bunch of different ways to have a store where you are actually processing the sales transactions from your website, but it's more complicated. Yeah, you make more in royalties, but you've got to do the taxes, right? You've got to make sure that the book gets to them and the quality's right. All of that is now your responsibility. It's worth it if you're selling enough books.
Exactly, because I mean, I always look at it from the old like app, the old software stuff. When I was back in the technology sector. Who's doing customer service? I don't want to do customer service for book returns, for this book isn't what I wanted it to be, it didn't get here on time, it's still late. I mean, that's part of, and at some point we will do an episode on direct sales, but right now just know that next step comes with more complications as in your website, in your business, in your life. And I think
your taxes, it's really important in your taxes.
Yes, exactly. So we're really talking, I think, about levels 1 and 2 of published and pre-published of how you think about your website. Yeah. So and what you need on it. So is there anything we've missed? Anything like a cute picture of your dog?
A cute picture of your dog. There are trends like videos and websites or moving websites where the whole background, right, will move. It's great especially if you're like a fantasy author and there's, fireworks or whatever going on. So there's lots of cool, fun trends, bells and whistles that you can add. And that's great. But again, only if you're writing books. Do
Exactly.
that first. Bells
Yeah.
and whistles later.
Do not procrastinate with moving snazzy backgrounds. All right,
Yeah.
everybody. We've got one more episode in our website series. Come along with us to the next episode, and we will see you over there. Thank you for joining us. We love having you here. Bye.
Bye.